Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is our first position. This is called the station, right? This is our sense of ourself. This is kind of who we are when we close our eyes at night, who we are when we're alone, right? You're somebody with a vision. You're someone who can see the future, right? The Knight of Pentacles is always looking at the future and kind of seeing the mountain, right? Now, with this card, we have to reflect on how this might resonate with our sense of self right now. Okay, this is how we see ourselves. Yeah, and we're looking at the mountain. We may, for one thing, we can't really see the top of the mountain, can we? We can see that it goes up really high, but we may not really know what our final goal is right now. Okay, also we're kind of looking at the mountain, and if we can right now figure out what the goal is, then we can work our way backwards. We can sort of reverse engineer it, right? And we can create the plan. And we can move into the next phase of things where we kind of see the path before us. So right now you might be thinking, what is the goal? Okay, so that's kind of the first step. Make sure we know what the goals are. Make sure we know kind of what is at the top of this mountain. What is the summit here for us? And then also kind of understand what the path is going to require of us. You know, we're looking at the future and we're seeing who we are, where we are, and what we're doing down the road or up the mountain, right? And in order to fully realize and manifest that vision depends on all of our thoughts, words, and deeds right now in the present moment. Okay? And so I feel like that's kind of your internal kind of person right now, is trying to figure out what the goal is and how I get there and who do I want to become and what do I have to do on a daily basis, you know, to get that reality, to get what I desire, to unfold my destiny. Okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context and let's see what is going on for you this week. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. We have the Hierophant. We have the Seven of Wands. We have a Knight of Cups. We have the Death card. We have the Ace. Oh, good. The Ace of Swords. Clarity. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have a Prince of Wands. We have a Princess of Pentacles and a Seven. Okay, a Seven of Cups. Yeah. The Seven of Cups is very good. Kind of skipping ahead because I know this is like, out of all these really, pretty good cards, we've got a couple of stinkers, right? Or so it may seem. I don't feel that they truly are stinkers. I feel like the Seven of Cups in this position 10, right? The destiny. It's not your destiny to be stuck in the swamp, right? I think it's your destiny to get out of the swamp, to change this swamp into paradise, right? We may feel like right now we're kind of in a slump. Especially with we got our, 7 and 7, right? Very dangerous combination. 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, I mean. And this creates mud. This creates a swamp. It feels like we've gotten into the marsh here and we can't, it's like it's just suctioning our boots down into it. We can't get out of it. And so I think that this is now the realization and the confidence that we're going to be victorious over this, that we're going to get moving. And maybe that's the key to it, that Knight of Pentacles. Like, we feel like we're stuck right now somewhere, right? We feel like we're in a quicksand or we're in a swamp. We have to figure out what the goal is, and kind of map our path up that mountain to get to that goal, figure out what we have to do today, and we start doing it, and we start changing this. Okay? So I think our destiny is to get out of the swamp here. We've got to have this confidence, and we've got to believe that we're capable of that. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Jimbo the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we see two majors, the Hierophant and the Death card. We see fire. We see water. A little bit of air. And then we have our 1, 2, 3 earth cards. Well, the Hierophant is a bit of an earth card too. Now, this is the second position. It's called the battle. This is where our difficulty lies. This is where our challenge really presents itself to us. And if we're here looking up the mountain and we're seeing the goal, we're getting the goal, we're kind of working our way back, we're unpacking it, we're reverse engineering it, and we understand how we must begin. The Hierophant is then asking us, do we have everything we need to begin? What is it, who is it that we need to become in order to start this path? What are the qualities of somebody who is doing this work? You know, whatever your goals are, it doesn't matter what they are. Who do we need to become in order to do them? What qualities do we need to embody? How do I need to build myself up? What do I need to work on? We're thinking external goals, external path, but it requires that internal component. I have to figure out what I need to develop within myself in order to do this. Now, the Hierophant is also, the challenge might be for us asking for help, getting advice, consulting the great person of the I Ching, finding a resource that can show us the way. Sometimes we want to reinvent the wheel, but the Hierophant is saying there's already a wheel. Use the wheels that are here. Don't have to make your own wheel. So sometimes to become a giant, we have to stand on the shoulders of giants. So the Hierophant is one of these very interesting cards because it's wisdom coming in from outside. Somebody else telling you what to do. We don't like that. Not only telling you what to do, but telling you why you should do it that way and not a different way. We're consulting the expert, and I don't believe in. I think experts. I don't know. I'm not going to go down that road. But experts may present themselves as having some sort of absolute truth or absolute knowledge, but they don't. It may be facts. They may be giving you their expert opinion, but that's why they call it an opinion. Their expert opinion, right? Somebody who's familiar with the terrain can tell you what they think is the right thing, but it's up to you to figure it out for yourself. Whatever path you're on, consult the people that know or think they know, but you got to think for yourself, and that's why we have the Ace of Swords as the way forward. You have to trust in yourself. So I feel like the difficulty here is you kind of sorting through, sifting through all the knowledge and all the wisdom and all the expertise, so-called, that you're receiving, right? To find out what is the kernel of truth, what is the way, what is it really that resonates with you that says, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. But the alternative is that we ignore it and we deny any sort of outside input, any wisdom from anywhere. I don't want to consult any experts. I'm going to figure it out myself. That means we reinvent the wheel. We can take someone else's word for it. You have a wheel? Can I see your wheel? And they say, here you go. Here's the wheel. It's the best thing for your chariot, right? It's the wheel. This is going to be perfect. This is going to make going up the mountain pretty easy for you, right? And we'll take their wheel and we'll look at it and we'll maybe test it out. We could test out some other things like a square or a triangular wheel. And maybe we'll think, that doesn't work so well on the chariot now, does it? But we have to sort of make that decision for ourselves. We can't just take somebody else's word for it. We've still got to think for ourselves. So the challenge of the Hierophant, the conflict for you right now, is to be willing to receive the wisdom and guidance coming from outside, from other people, from experts, from people that have done it, people that have been there, friends, family. I don't know. Everybody's got an opinion, right? But trying to source your materials from reliable places, trying to understand where you're getting your information. The Hierophant is the one that tells us what is sacred. And again, it's good to have that input, but we've got to decide for ourselves. Okay? So this card is sometimes, in its own archetype, is about an intermediary between you and the divine. That to reach the divine, we have to go through another person it's like we talk to this other person, the other person talks to God, God talks to that person tells us what God said, and or goddess, deity, spirit, the universe, or, the truth of things. So it almost implies that we're not capable of apprehending truth in our own minds, that we have to go through somebody else to kind of tell us what it means, an interpreter, sort of, and so we have to be careful with that as well. Now, going down beneath the surface into your soul here with the third position. This is the Seven of Wands. This is the card that sort of represents your internal emotional landscape. Okay? And I feel like there is an inherent resistance. This is kind of a David and Goliath thing. I think you're somebody that likes to reinvent wheels. You like to do it. You don't want anybody to help you do anything. And so I kind of feel like you have a rebellion in you where you kind of go against the status quo. You go against the experts. And in some ways, if somebody tells you what is the right way of doing something, you say, oh yeah? And you go and you do it a different way, just based on principle, And so I think we have to kind of recognize this, that this is us fighting against, anybody telling us what to do, how to do it, or why to do it that way. And we sort of we're the underdog, okay? And the underdog is going to reinvent the wheel when we don't really have to. So I think a big challenge for you is to not be so ready to dismiss the opinions of others, or the wisdom or knowledge or expertise of others, or the insights of others, but to be more open, to allow other energies in, but still being very discerning about what we accept as gospel and what we don't, right? We're not going to blindly follow anybody, anywhere. That we're going to make up our own mind ultimately. Okay. So I feel that there is a kind of a frustration in you, and it really is when we're closing our eyes at night. And we're sort of trying to have this vision of the future, like who am I becoming, and what's at the top of the mountain for me, and what am I supposed to do with my life? I feel like there's a little bit of frustration because maybe it feels like this mountain is way too high. I can't even see the top of it. And we start to get a little bit discouraged. Okay, sometimes the Seven of Wands is us banging our head against the same wall over and over and over again. And we're too stubborn to ask for help, to ask somebody else, how am I supposed to do this? Because maybe we want to feel like we are the expert, and I think in a way we all should be pretty much the Hierophant of our own lives, right? But it doesn't always work that way. So whether we're asking a friend or a neighbor or family member, we're asking the internet, we're asking, some expert in the field that we're in, or we're asking for some sort of counsel or guidance from the divine, or from a lawyer, a counselor, a therapist, you know what I mean? We have to be open to sort of learning what we can, wherever we can, but still being able to put it all together ourselves and decide what is what on our own. Yeah. Now, the fourth position is the dwarf position. This is something from the past. Maybe there might be a Cancer person in your recent past, but I kind of feel like we have spent some time in life listening to what other people felt and kind of and taking that as being truth. Okay? Because now with the Knight of Cups in the past, it feels like we put our faith in someone before. We have given someone our trust. We'd given someone like the keys to the car, and we trusted them with that car, or to our heart, the key to our heart maybe, right? And I feel like that now it's still lingering. This may have been a long time ago, but now it still kind of stings. And so it's created this kind of hardness in you, where we're not so ready to trust people. We're not so eager to accept anybody's help. We don't trust people's intentions very much, because there was a time where you were very open and very vulnerable, and I don't think it really worked so well, okay? And so this is a lesson that you had to learn, maybe more than once. And so now we're very wary of people. You know, we don't accept what anybody says as being absolute truth or gospel, and nor should we. But we need to at least be open to that wisdom coming in that can help us to get to our goals without giving anyone else the keys to the car. Does that make sense? So this is a card about love and affection. It's about openness, vulnerability. It's about sharing. It's about exchange. I feel that there was some betrayal, or there was somebody in your life that you thought was helping you, but they were taking advantage of you, or something along those lines. Maybe something financial. Okay. The next card, the fifth position, this is the Giant, and it is the Death card. It is slow and steady progress. It is the nature of nature. This is the fundamental force of the universe, right? The Death card. And this is a card of transformation. This is a card of evolution, right? I think that we are always working on moving forward, and we're working on letting go of that past energy, that betrayal, that being taken advantage of, whatever that Knight of Cups is for you. We're working on putting that in our past, and we're working on accepting what is coming in our future. So it's kind of like when this Hierophant appears for you, this teacher, right? When we're being offered a helping hand, right? That's the moment where we have to understand that the past is not repeating itself in the. It doesn't mean that this new teacher is going to do the same thing that this previous person did. I'm just calling it a teacher. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was a teacher. Because it feels like somebody sort of steered you down the wrong road at some point. And so now we're not trusting anybody's driving directions. You know, I'd rather be lost following my own path than taking some directions from somebody else. But we have to be careful, because we're going to end up, sort of rejecting everything. And we're going to struggle a lot more than we need to. This card is about letting go, right? Releasing something and realizing that the past does not have to just repeat. It doesn't just repeat and repeat and repeat. So this new situation isn't like the old one. Okay? This path that you're on is a forward-moving path. It's progress. We're looking to evolve. We're looking to improve. We're looking to climb this mountain. We don't want to be led astray. I certainly don't want to make a wrong turn on somebody else's say-so and end up back down at the bottom of the hill. Okay? But I think we're ready to sort of move forward. And I think this is about learning from experience. This is the realization that we don't actually ever forget anything, that no experience is wasted. You're somebody that looks at life as kind of like very organic. That everything is sort of feeding the soil. Everything that happens to us is a nutrient in the soil that's going to help us grow. Okay? And so we have to make sure that we're using things in the right way. When bad things happen, if they create a complex in us, or a rejection or a rebellion against anything that looks remotely similar to that other thing, that's not helping us grow. right? Because we can't take one experience from the past, or maybe it was several, and then apply that energy, apply that sort of that truth or that assessment to then everything else that looks like it. You know, let's say you were a kid and you got sick eating an orange, right? And now as an adult, all orange food is bad. I don't like oranges. I don't like tangerines. I don't like grapefruit. I don't even like bananas, even are too close to orange. You know, I don't like any of that stuff, right? We sort of reject all of it, right? Carrots, everything. That's not really helping us grow, right? And so I know it's not quite the same. It's a silly analogy. But we don't want to just make that blanket assessment of things. Okay, that now everything that looks similar is going to be detrimental. Because what we might have learned from that situation was something very important to us. We don't want to kind of learn the wrong things, right? What do we learn? All orange food is bad. That was probably the wrong lesson to take from that incident. Okay, so I think that we have to learn from the past while letting it be the past, right? And figuring out how I can best use that as a nutrient in the soil that'll help me grow. Okay, I think that you are chosen for something profound in life. Moving forward into the 6th position is that certainty. This is clarity. This is you taking all the wisdom that's being given to you in life, you know, by people, by events, by circumstances, by your history, by everything. Everything that's ever taught you anything in life, right? We're now able to distill that into a clarity, into a certainty. Okay? And so all of your experiences are helping you fight your way forward, making the right decisions for yourself. Okay? All the experiences of your life are creating in you a clarity and a certainty and a wisdom, really, right? Your own wisdom. But I think every giant has stood on the shoulders of giants to become a giant. And I feel like that's what you're doing. Yeah. The way forward for you is clarity and certainty. I think it is about understanding, again, finding the goal, figuring out what it is you want, working your way backwards so that we can see the plan, and then having the confidence every step of the way to draw in whatever wisdom, knowledge, resource, whatever information I need so that I can distill all that down to a clear decision about what next step to take. You know, it's kind of like you have to take one more step forward. So before you do, you research it, you watch some YouTube videos, you talk to your friends, you read some books, you talk to your neighbors, you think about it a while, you pray on it, you meditate over it. And then that all leads to one intuitive choice, and you take that next step. It's not any one of those things that said this is the answer and this is what you do, but it's the collective energy of all of that, right? It was the aggregate of all of that data, and you were able to sort of refine it down to one clear decision. Okay, I think that's very. I feel like you're a very independent person. Yeah, let's talk about the path of the serpent, okay? I'm going to start with position 7, the persona. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. The 7th position, the persona, this is kind of the way other people might see us. Or this is the way we're sort of, we're projecting ourselves out to other people. I feel like you're kind of hiding your light away a little bit. Like you're not revealing yourself to anybody. I feel like we're really cloaked. This is almost like we're shrouded in darkness. I feel like we're very secretive. I feel like you're a person that you don't reveal your plans to other people. And so we're not really able to have conversations like we need to because I'm not willing to tell people what I'm up to, you know? I'm not sharing my goals. I'm not sharing my dreams or my plans with people, and therefore I don't get their input. So I feel like you're a bit of a secretive person. I feel like you play things really close to the chest. You know, you're not letting anybody see your cards. And I think this is, I mean, it's It's a fine energy, right? I'm like that myself mostly. But I think it's also making it more difficult for us because then, we aren't able to see so much of the path before us. This card kind of looks like just a black smudge, especially if I don't have my glasses on. This card just looks like a dark spot, So it's kind of like we're keeping ourselves in a little bit of darkness as well, as we're not able to get the full clear picture of things sometimes. Okay, so I feel like there is a need for you to find the right, to be open to various teachers. Okay, and there may be one, the most important teacher may be on their way to you right now. Okay, the teacher that if we accept them and we listen and we converse and we're a little bit open and we give space, we give it a chance at least. I think that this next teacher is really going to illuminate things for you. Because right now we feel like we're in a little bit of darkness. Now, this new teacher is going to have a tattoo on their wrist. Not me. I have one too. But no, not me. There's going to be some kind of a tattoo on their wrist or forearm that is going to mean something to you. Okay? It's going to resonate with you in some way. Either you have a similar tattoo or you understand the symbol and it's something that you also are into or something like that. Okay? And there's something going on around a holiday gathering too. I don't know if there's like a birthday thing or there's some kind of a summer kind of festival or something like that. It might be where this person shows up for you. But that teacher will arrive very soon and they will show you the piece that's missing right now. But you're the one that has to put it all together. Let's not forget that, okay? But see, we don't want to reject everybody or all teachers or all conversation about this. We don't want to be so shrouded in mystery that, that we don't recognize the teacher when they appear. You see? So the next card is the Prince of Wands. It's a fixed fire energy. It's a Leo energy. It's very active. And in a way, it's saying it's time to get to work. It's time to say yes, right? It's time for us to start climbing that mountain because we see with the Knight of Pentacles that we're not climbing anything. We're standing here looking. And I think there is something we cannot see. This is the card of moving forward. Right? This is the card of kind of getting things in motion. This is a commitment. This is a steadfastness. This is a perseverance. This is like motivation. I almost feel like because this is in the position of your relationships and your environment, it's also the position of the shadow, right? Maybe we're not moving forward yet because we don't have all the answers, right? And this card then would say, we need to go forward anyway. If we're going to get the answers, we've got to put ourselves out there. We've got to go and do the things. We've got to get busy if we're going to get any kind of clarity. The next step for you is clarity, but not if we don't take the step. So this might be like, that part of us that we need to activate. That says we got to get out there and we just got to get busy. We got to start experimenting. We got to start doing things. We're not going to get anywhere if we're just waiting around for the plan to reveal itself or waiting for all the clarity. We got to get out there and get busy. We're not going to meet the teacher if we're not on the path. Okay? And we don't know the path. We don't know every step of the way. But we sort of like, if we can figure out what our goal is, then we can kind of reverse engineer that, like I said, and we can at least figure out what I need to do today to get myself going. And sometimes this card is just like, just get outside. Just go out and do something. Just get out and socialize, go places, see things, meet people, and the right people will cross your path. We're not going to meet the right person that we need to meet if we just stay home. If we stay home, excuse me, and we don't go and interact with anybody. Okay. The next card is your fear, worry, and concern. It is position 9. It is the specter. This is what we fear becoming, and to me that is it's empty. barren. It is not successful, right? This is, we see that there's no verdant energy here. The life is gone from this. There is nothing grew. This is a dry, brittle forest. All the trees are dead. There's no life. There's no flowers. There's no greenery, right? It's a sterile landscape. So that's the worst thing that we want to become, right? Is someone that did not fulfill their potential. Okay, and so this is the card that again is kind of suggesting that we need to get moving, and we need to pick up the right wisdom along the way. But we can't be so paralyzed by uncertainty or paralyzed by the darkness, right? That we can't even see what the next step should be, right? So this is the card that should transform into the Empress, right? This should transform into the absolute best life. All the verdant energy will return, the flowers will grow, the animals will come back, it'll be beautiful. Our worry is that this thing isn't going to work. The worry is that we're not going to succeed, we're not going to get to the goal. And of course, we're not going to get there until we start moving forward, until we start going, right? The Seven of Cups at the end, like I said, this is kind of that swamp energy. That's the feeling like we are stuck. And the longer we hesitate, the more stuck we will become. Okay? So this is really about us kind of recognizing that I can't stagnate here. I can't stay still. I have to get moving again. Okay? And maybe we're sort of, we're still reeling from this betrayal. And it's, now we've kind of, it's almost like we were moving before, and then we got stopped in our tracks because I think somebody did you wrong, okay? And it sort of stopped us in our tracks, and we're trying to see, like, who am I and where am I and what am I doing, where am I going? We're looking for answers again, okay? Because we're not moving anymore. I think that something is going to come and motivate you. That there's something is going to click. There's a little piece of the puzzle that we're not getting right now. And that's going to help us realize really the danger of our situation, because we're in danger of sinking deeper into that kind of negative energy. And so with the Seven of Cups, this is a Venus energy. It's 7. The number 7 is associated with Venus. And Venus is that number of kind of like loving something so much that you're not going to give up on it. Right? Loving something so much that we're going to overcome the inertia, and we're going to get out of the swamp, And I think that this is a self-love. I think it's also a commitment. Something is going to. I feel like it's this teacher energy. Now, maybe they're going to be a Taurus person. I feel like there's this teacher type of person that's going to enter your life, and something about them or what they say to you or the information that they give you is going to spark something in you. It's going to remind you of something. Now, I'm not saying that they're giving you the answer, but something that they say or do is going to spark something in you that's going to get you fired up again. It's going to get you moving. It's going to give you that little, and they're not going to maybe even know that they gave it to you, right? But it's going to be a synchronicity, and something's going to happen that's going to spark your energy again. And we're going to get moving forward. We're going to get up that mountain. Okay. I feel like you were chosen for something really, really huge. And I feel like it's all about to fall into place, and you're going to know what the next step is. I want to look at the mystery card, and this is position 11. This is the guide. This is the whisper of your higher self that's trying to lead you forward. And I feel like this should be the Empress, But I also feel like maybe it's the Star, your superpower card. It could be some more fire energy as well. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Oh, it's a nice 8 of Pentacles. Good. Because it's not the 7, now it's the 8. It's saying we're getting back to business. We are refining something over and over again. That we're back to work. We are doing it. Okay? And I kind of feel like we're doing it out in the open. That we are, we're we're getting busy. We're getting back to the work that we know we need to do. We may still not quite know the whole plan. We may still be a little bit confused about the end goal. But here we are getting busy doing the work. Okay, this is somebody who is refining something over and over again. And in some ways it looks like they're making a wheel, right? But they're not reinventing it. I think they're refining their version of it. So it's like we have that idea, and now we're sort of, now we're implementing that idea. We're bringing it down to a practical level, where it's something that we can physically do. And the more we do it, the more we sort of learn how we need to do it, because we're refining it with ourselves. Someone says, make a wheel. Okay. You tell 100 people to make a wheel, everyone's going to have a different wheel. You got to find the wheel that works for you. And that's going to be through making one and testing it and saying, okay, maybe I need to revise it a little bit and refine it and make a better version of that wheel until we sort of get, until we find exactly what works for us. Okay. I think this is a very good confirmation card, and it says that we're getting back to work. We're getting out of this slump, right? Whatever you want to call it, the swamp energy, the sevens. We're getting out of the sevens, and we're getting back to it. So it may be that, your work has been put on hold because you're waiting for that right idea. You're waiting. There's just some uncertainty. There's some darkness that we're shrouded in. But I think that clarity is coming, and you're going to get back to doing your work, whatever it is. Maybe you do something with your hands. I don't know if this is an art form, if it's some kind of a craft thing. But you're going to get back to building whatever this is that you're building. I think this is fine. Okay? Now, let the lessons of these 11 stations settle in your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. Remember as well that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibilities. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path in any way, please share your reflections below. Together we travel onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, and there's a link down below. New readings for Aquarius on Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.